Yeah.
Hey Derek, this is John Godwin from Vector. I was calling for our phone interview. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Is this still a good time for you to talk?
Yeah, that's a great stuff.
Perfect. Well, I know you had a chance to watch the videos recently. My objective here is to follow up and give you a chance to ask any questions that you still have and see if we'd be a good fit to work together. So first off, after watching the videos, what were some of the things that stood out to you?
I guess the way how you sell your product, because you don't, as you said, go door to door. You work by referrals,
Mm-hmm.
and then pay per appointment set, and then you choose the base pay or incentive. So it's definitely a different structure in how y'all do it.
Mm-hmm. One thing I do just want to clarify, our students don't choose whether they get base pay or incentive. It's whichever one makes them more money is the one they get paid.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah,
No,
that's what I meant.
it's fine, but
Yeah.
I have had people think they had to pick which one they wanted, so just wanted to clarify that. But that said, I know the video does answer most of the questions that people have, but what questions did you still have left over?
I guess one of my first ones is, do we have to, when we give the when we have the appointment, however it is online or if we go in person and do it, do we have to pay for the supplies that we use for the presentation, or are those given to us?
Yeah, that's a good question. So every student, when they finish training, we loan them about $400 worth of products, and they can borrow it for free for as long as they're working with us. And then when they leave the company down the road, they just give it back to us. So there's never any cost to get started.
Okay, cool. And then I guess in terms of, because y'all are structured differently in the way how you attract people, so is it strictly based on the amount of referrals I'm able to get? Because my only issue is that I feel like I have a good base to start. Some good friends, family. That's maybe 5, and maybe then they'll have people. But at what point does it seem to stop? Because I feel like after a while, if there's not like a client list that y'all would have for me, then like in terms of me finding other people, like how hard is it to I guess find other people?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's one that I get frequently from someone who hasn't had a job like this before. So here's what I'll tell you. It's twofold. Number one is we don't ever give a client list out, because as soon as you start calling a list of people that don't know you, well, that's telemarketing, right? And number
Right.
one is we don't do telemarketing. Two, nobody wants to do telemarketing, so we just don't do that. But it's completely sustainable to get referrals. And I'm completely biased when I say this because I've been doing it for 13 years and it's my chosen career. But I do firmly believe that we have the best referral program in the entire industry. And here's why. Just as an example, if I was doing an appointment for you and you're my customer, at the end of it, whether you bought something or not, I'm going to send you a text message that basically introduces me and asks if it's okay for me to call. And you're going to send that text message to 15 of your friends. What we found is that if you send the text to 15 people, we have an average of 5.7 who opt in and say, yes, I would like John to call me about Cutco. And I only call the people who say yes. And what I do is I know that if you send the text to 15, I'm going to get 5.7 yeses. I give you a free product just for sending it to 15 people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what we found is that every one customer we show creates 5.7 new opted-in referrals who are requesting a phone call from me. So it actually, a lot of people think they're going to run out of people, but the real truth is that a lot of times they end up getting more people to call than they're even able to call.
Okay, so it's almost like branching in the sense that, I start with 2 people, those 2, no more, and then so on and so forth.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand.
And I know that was a pretty in-depth response, but does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that perfectly answers the response. And then I guess another question I have, how much do y'all sell? Because the quality of the knives, that did shake me a little bit, because they looked like they cut very well because they were cutting like all that stuff. But what's the price of either a single knife or a set, or are there like bundles? Just in terms of how much I'm gonna like walk in thinking I'm trying to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have something you can write some numbers down on?
Let me go ahead and get on my notes real quick on my phone, and I'll write these numbers down.
Yep.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so I'm going to give you a whole bunch of numbers, but to answer your question, the cheapest thing that a customer could buy is $28.
Okay.
If they wanted to buy the entire catalog, they could spend over 10,000.
Okay.
But the average is 352.
Per person?
Yep.
Okay.
So they could spend anywhere from 28 to 10,000, but the national average sale is for $352.
Okay.
And customers can do it monthly for only $60 a month.
And when you say monthly, is that in terms of getting new products?
No, they can, just like financing a car or financing a window replacement, they can also finance Cutco.
Okay, I understand. I got you. Okay, so the lowest it can go is 28. The average is 352 with a max of 10,000 for the catalog?
Yep.
Okay, I got you. I guess aside from that, that's really the main, like the big three questions that I wanted to ask. I think everything else isn't too bad. And so you want to start? Well, actually, hold up. Okay, one more question I do have is when you said an appointment, what information would we need to give you? Because if I feel like if we didn't give you information, then we could just kind of like BS our appointments. Because I could do it to like maybe a friend or two who aren't interested, or just like how would I basically verify to you that I'm setting an appointment?
Yeah, that's a good question. That is actually something that I cover in detail in training. We do have a full program for tracking and verifying the appointments, but because it's so in-depth, I just teach it in training.
Okay.
So
is it, I'm sorry to cut you off. I was just going to ask, is it generally a lot of information you have to get from people, or is it not too much to the point where it's like creepy? It's just like.
Well, keep in mind, we've been doing this since 1949. So if we were creeping people out, we probably would have gone out of business a couple decades ago.
Fair point. My fault.
It's not a big deal. It's a good question. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It's very straightforward. And like I said, we have a full program and system. It's just something I cover after someone gets started with us.
Okay, cool.
Cool. But any other questions that you wanted to ask?
No, that really covers everything.
Okay. Let me ask about you. I'm looking at your application. It sounds like you're a student. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm a student at Howard University in DC.
Oh, very good. What year are you?
I'm currently a sophomore.
Mm-hmm. Have you picked a major yet, or just doing general studies right now?
No, I'm a computer science major.
Gotcha. Any idea what you want to do after college?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I intend to be a software engineer or project manager for a couple of years, and then have my job pay for my master's because I'm trying to get an MBA after college.
Gotcha. But you're going to work for a couple years before you do grad school?
Right. Yeah.
I get that. Okay. And just curious, are you initially from DC, or did you move there for school?
I moved here for school, but I currently live in Ashburn, Virginia, moving to McLean, so I'm only ever like half an hour to an hour away.
I get you. Those are nice areas.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice area.
And where'd you move from? It looks like you might have a New Jersey phone number.
My phone. Say San Antonio number because I was born in Woodbridge, but I moved to Texas and lived there for about 12 years. So most of my life I was there, and then I moved back to Ashburn, Virginia, to DMV in I want to say 2014, 2015 when I was a sophomore in high school.
I get you. And then you've been here ever since?
Yeah, just been here ever since, and I went to DC for school, and I'll finish that out.
Got it. Okay. And then I see that you worked at Papa John's over the summer. Are you still working there, or has that ended?
That ended. That was really just I needed to have a way to be able to pay or get some money for my summer classes I was taking over the summer. So I worked there for about 3 months, but then I quit right before I came back to school.
Yep, I get that. All right. And then just so I know, what is your... Sounds like you might be in DC right now. Just so I know, what is your current school schedule?
My current school schedule, on average, I'll rent about 4 or 5 on weekdays. Weekends are mostly available with, maybe whatever gets added in the mix. But that's for the most part, start around 9 or 10, end around 5, and then have a mix of studying and working out. It's just kind of scheduling past 5, but it's cut off at 5.
Or if I can ask a little more specifically, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, what time do you start class, and what time does your last class end?
On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my first class is at 10 o'clock for chemistry, and I'll end. Let me pull up my planner real quick just to make sure I'm. Okay, So for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I start at 10, and then I'll end at 4 o'clock. It'll be 4 o'clock for Monday and Friday, and for Wednesday, it'll be 5 because I have extra computer time for that day.
Got it. Okay. And then what about Tuesday, Thursday?
Tuesday, Thursday, right now, I have my first class will start at 12. But on Tuesday, my 12 o'clock class is like canceled for the year. So it's, let me see, Tuesday will be 1. So Thursday will be noon. What was that? Yeah, I'm sorry, my fault. So my first class, noon on Thursday, and on Tuesday is 1. And then it'll end on Tuesday it's going to end at 4, and then on Thursday it'll end at 8 p.m.
Got it. Okay. All right. Beautiful. And then you mentioned that you do workouts. Are you playing a sport, or is that just for health?
No, it's just the same shape. I just try to go 3 days every week.
Gotcha. Okay. So if things were to work out here, how many hours would you be available to work? It got quiet. Are you thinking? Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. It must have been muted for a second.
That's all right. What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
You didn't hear anything?
No, it got real quiet.
Okay. I'm sorry. What was the last question you asked? I was explaining, but I just kind of got off on a tangent. But
It's all right. If you were to work with us, how many hours a week would you be available?
oh, right. Yeah, that depends on because the issue would be. I guess one question to answer that question would be when I do these appointments, are they meant online or in person? Because if I had to go and travel to see some of these people, like my grandma was like an hour away, that might partially affect just because it'll be more travel time than actually being able to do a physical appointment.
Yep, I get that. We typically block off 90 minutes for each appointment, and that includes travel time. So anybody who lives too far away, we just do them online.
Okay, cool. Well then, okay, cool. So that's okay. Since my referrals are maybe an hour away, so that's 90 minutes. Then okay, then if that's the case, I could probably work anywhere from like 5 to 10 hours a week. But the issue is just studying right now because I've ended up studying a lot more than I used to last year just for my classes. But I'd say anywhere from 5 to 10.
Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Well, I'll tell you, Derek, just from talking to you, I can tell that you're a really intelligent guy. And quite frankly, I like what you talked about at the beginning with going to school, looking to get a job doing one thing and use that to pay for grad school and do that. I like that a lot. And then I really appreciate all the questions that you had prepared for me at the beginning. So I'll just tell you, I like you and I'd like to work with you. So if this is something you'd like to do, I'd be very happy to offer you a spot on the team.
I'd love to have a spot on the team. Yeah, it sounds like a really great thing y'all are doing.
Awesome. Congratulations. Let me ask you, and I will tell you very openly, I hate to ask students to miss class, but I run training on Thursday from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So here's my question. You're in school from 12 to 8. If you were to join us on Thursday at 4 o'clock after your first class ended, would you be able to miss the second class one time ever to do the training?
Let me see, because I'm assuming that'd be my chem lab. Is it okay if I email my teacher today and let you know for sure on maybe Monday? So I'll let you know on Tuesday and Wednesday because it's my first time having this one class in particular, and it's the one I wanted to watch out for.
Yep.
In terms of it being like a rigorous course. So can I just get back to you on that on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and if that doesn't work out, we can find another time to schedule?
Yes. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule you tentatively for training this Thursday and Friday.
All right.
Now, just so you know, I only ever run training on Thursday and Friday, and during the school year, it's always 2 to 7.
Okay.
So I won't have another time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But just so you know, it is flexible. It's just once I get someone initially trained, they more or less make their own schedule. So if you can
Right.
talk to your professor and get excused, or maybe even go to a different section just for the one time, after that I'll never ask again.
Okay, yeah, well, if that's the case, it's only Thursday and Friday, then definitely this Thursday, just because I want to just get, into this and then have my own schedule set. So for this Thursday, I'll definitely do it. The good
Beautiful.
thing is we have lab partners too, so my other partner, I can just have them, email me the information or whatever we covered in class. So that actually works out.
Perfect. Thank you for being flexible, by the way. Let me give you all the information from training, and then for training, and then I'll let you go. Do you still have something you can take notes on?
Yeah, what's that? And my point, just to clarify, you said on Thursday it starts and ends at what time?
Yes, I'll give that to you as soon as you're ready. I'll cover everything with you.
Oh, okay, all right, sweet. Then I'm here on the notepad right now, so I'm ready.
All right, perfect. So just so you know, I do training on Thursday and Friday from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. But for you, I just want you to join us immediately after school each day. So I realize that'll make you a little bit late, but you'll be just fine. The beginning of each day is not going to make you miss so much that you can't catch up.
Right.
Okay, so we'll do Thursday and Friday just basically as soon as class is over, and then training ends at 7. Now, the training is going to happen entirely online. And just so you're aware, my office is right outside of Annapolis. It's not too far away, but with DC Metro traffic, a little geographically inconvenient. So what I'm going to do is I'll send you an email on Wednesday with a link. And then you can just teleconference in. And what's actually really cool is I always have a group of people physically in the office, and I always have a group of people on teleconference, and we all do it together, so it's a lot of fun.
Okay, cool.
And then all I ask of you is just make sure you're in a quiet place where you've got stable internet and you can be focused. And the one thing I do want you to work on before training is I want you to make a list of people you can do your first appointments with. And for this list, the only thing that I care about is that they're over 30 and married. But I don't care if you think they would buy the product or even be interested or not. I just want you to have people you can practice with. And they can live literally anywhere. So they can be here in the DMV, they can be in California, they can be in Texas, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And to give you a couple targets to shoot for, at a bare minimum, I do need you to at least have 10 people on your list. Now, most people do 20 to 30, and the more the better. But as long as you at least have 10, that's enough to get started. And the most important thing, Derek, is I don't want you to try to get anyone interested in the product right now, because if you start calling people tonight like, hey, want to see some knives and scissors, that's weird. Right? Don't be weird.
Yeah.
Just get their name and number written down, and then in training, I'll teach you exactly what to say so it's comfortable and professional. Is that all cool for you?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. And then a question I have is, I have some international family that might be maybe interested in this product, and they live in the United Kingdom. So would y'all be able to? Is it international? I guess.
No and yes. We can ship to the UK, but it's a little more complicated. What I would recommend is have them on your list, but I would focus to start when you're new. Start with people that are domestic, but have them on your list. And when you get a little more advanced, I'd be happy to teach you how to do international stuff.
Okay, sweet. That sounds like a plan.
Cool. But hey, man, last thing, just so you know, my name is John Godwin. And just so you're aware, I've been with the company for 13 years. I've sold over $200,000 of the product myself, and the people that I've trained have sold over $4 million. And I don't tell you any of that to brag or show off. It's just to give you confidence that I'll be personally training you myself, and I'll teach you everything. So this is my direct number. If you do have any questions or anything before Thursday, just call me. If not, just look out for my email on Wednesday, and I'll look forward to working with you, okay?
All right, sounds like a plan. And last question. You said 2 to 7, Thursday and Friday. Is that when you have time within that block, or is it a whole 5-hour period that I should block out?
It's the whole 5 hours, but I want you to join us after your class ends.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that sounds like a plan. When I'm done with my computer science class at 4, I'll hop on for sure, and then I'll just miss my chemistry because I can just do that any other week. So that works out for you on Thursday and Friday?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, that definitely sounds like a plan. I can't wait to go forward with it.
Yeah, sounds great, man. Congratulations, and I'll see you Thursday.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye. Lots to debrief on that one. Hope you guys took some good notes because I'm going to do the other one. and then we'll circle back. Yeah, there was a lot to debrief on that one. Whew.
Hello?
Hey, is this Noah? Is this Noah?
Yeah.
Hey, Noah, this is John Godwin from Vector. I was calling for our phone interview. How are you?
Good.
Good. Is this still a good time for you to talk?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, what I'd like to do here is follow up on your application and the videos that you watched, give you a chance to ask any questions that you have, and see if we'd be a good fit to work together. So first off, after watching the videos, what were some of the things that stood out to you?
It's different.
Cool. Tell me more about that.
Selling things are, I don't know, just different.
Okay. Well, I know after watching the videos answer most of your questions, but what questions did you still have?
Nah, that's it.
Okay. Tell me about yourself. Are you currently in school or currently working?
It's cool.
Tell me about that.
It's cool. It's fun.
Where do you go?
Parkside.
Is that high school or college?
High school.
Got it. Have you graduated already? Not yet, right?
Not yet.
Have you turned 18 yet?
About to.
When do you turn 18?
June 7th.
Gotcha. Okay. Unfortunately, you do need to either be 18 years old or graduated from high school to be able to work with us. So I'm not able to even interview you yet. But I'd like it if you saved my number or saved my website and reapply after you turn 18 or after you graduate, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.